The crystal dome rang like a bell of light. By dusk, Oteoland had poured itself into the plaza ribbons on lampposts, bunting on balcony rails, steam kites drifting overhead with tiny lanterns in their tails. Musicians tuned glass flutes that made the air taste like peppermint. The elder light hovered high above, warm as a second moon. "This is for you," Katie said, nudging Oteo toward the steps. "And for the satchel, and for not falling in lava." Tori polished his horns on a napkin. "Also for snacks. I was promised a pretzel the size of a pillow." Fetchy raced circles around their ankles, wearing a paper crown too big for his head. Paper crowns bounced over his eyes, and he bumped into Tori's leg, delighted with his own collision. Oteo stood still a moment to listen. Laughter pinged off the glass ribs. Somewhere, an old neighbor taught two little ones the clapping pattern to a dance. The satchel at Oteo's side warmed as if it, too, recognized the rhythm. He stepped up onto the low platform. The crowd's hum softened. Oteo cleared his throat. Hi." His voice came out smaller than he felt. He tried again. "Thank you for being the kind of place where ideas are allowed to be messy before they are wonderful." A ripple of laughter. The elder light brightened. He rested a hand on the satchel. "We followed wind and water and flame, and we learned they weren't doors to open, they were lessons that open us. Focus, togetherness, courage. We're not collecting things, we're remembering how to look." The elder light's glow deepened like approval. Oteo took a breath, steadier now. "And," he added, "we kept the raiders busy unlocking broom closets. That got a proper cheer." Katie leaned toward Tori. "Short, sincere, and funny. 10 out of 10. Needs a pretzel finale," Tori said gravely. Musicians lifted their flutes. The first song spilled through the plaza, quick, twinned melodies that chased each other in circles. Oteo stepped down into a chorus of neighbors, and the swirl of a line dance he half remembered. Someone pressed a cinnamon bun into Tori's hoof. Fetchy discovered a fallen ribbon and declared it his battle streamer. For a while, there was only brightness. Far across the ridge, the Void Raiders were also celebrating. "Citizens!" Buzz Blabber cried from atop a throne of shopping carts. "It is my honor to declare Operation Keystorm a victorious fiasco." "Emphasis on fiasco," Gloomy Gloom muttered. Strings of mismatched lights drooped between dented lampposts. A banner read Raiders. The Raiders paraded their spoils. A chain of rusty keys, a broken compass that pointed mainly to lunch, a glittery shoehorn they were calling the Horn of Access. Sticky Lies waved a bent doorknob. "I unlocked a feeling earlier." "What feeling?" Huffy Hate asked. "Hungry," Sticky said. Lazy Lurk clapped once and yawned. "Best parade ever." Drifty Fog floated past with a cardboard microphone. "Breaking news. We're unstoppable unless stopped." Buzz flourished a cracked mirror. "Behold, a portal." He peered into it and admired himself from 6 different wrong angles. "I look heroic." "That mirror is warped," Gloomy Gloom said. "So's destiny," Buzz replied, satisfied. They whooped and jangled and threw fistfuls of confetti made from old receipts. Somewhere in the racket, under a table, under a tarp, under a pile of important metal, something thin and bright pulsed, once unseen, then went still. Back in Oteoland, the party tipped toward the comfortable part of night when music loosens and people laugh softer. Katie taught a knot of children how to count the dome's ribs using shadows. Tori adjudicated a pretzel twisting contest with stern professionalism and cinnamon on his nose. Fetchy, now wearing 3 paper crowns at once, led a parade of toddlers that went nowhere on purpose. Oteo slipped to the dome's edge and sat on the warm step beneath the elder light. The satchel rested against his hip, weighty in a good way. "You did well," the elder light murmured, voice like a quiet choir. "You helped your place remember itself." "I had help," Oteo said, watching his friends. "And it felt good to learn by moving." "Motion clarifies," said the elder light. "And motion shared clarifies more." They sat in companionable silence. The plaza glowed apricot. The air smelled like sugar and cool stone. Oteo let his fingertips trace the satchel's surface. It wasn't slick like when it first arrived. Not anymore. The crystal had warmed into something else, softened, deepened, as if it had decided to be useful rather than perfect. He thought about the vault. The name alone felt heavy and felt a small twist under his ribs. The map wanted to be whole. The raiders wanted anything that glittered. Between those wants was a place called choice. "Elder," he said, "when the map is complete, what if the right thing to do is also the hard thing?" The elder light dimmed and brightened. "Then your courage will need a friend. Invite focus and togetherness to stand with it." Oteo smiled. "You make it sound like a dance." "It is," the elder light said. "Most truths are." The satchel warmed as if it agreed. Later, when the musicians had packed away their peppermint notes and neighbors drifted home in twos and threes, Oteo's friends rejoined him on the steps. Katie handed him a folded napkin. "3 crumbs left. We saved the best for you." Tori puffed his chest. "I was a very fair judge. No one went to jail." "There was no jail," Katie said. "Exactly," Tori said. "We met our safety goals." Fetchy leapt into Oteo's lap and flopped upside down, crowns sliding over one eye. His paws kneaded the satchel like dough. "Hey," Oteo said softly, scratching Fetchy's belly. "That's important equipment." The satchel tolerated the kneading with the dignity of someone used to being sat on by small royalty. Katie tilted her head, studying the straps. "It looks different." Oteo ran his thumb along a seam that hadn't been there that morning. The threads gleamed faintly, not with bright magic but with the quiet promise of something made to last. "It feels different," he said, "like it chose to keep what we learned." Tori nodded slowly, unusually serious. "Tools improve with use. So do we." The elder light hummed an agreement that felt like a hand on their shoulders. "Tomorrow," Oteo said, "we organize what we know. We don't rush because the raiders make noise. We move because it's right to move." "Strategic napping at noon?" Tori asked. "After the map work," Katie said. "Before lunch?" Tori bargained. "During," said Fetchy, who believed meals should be participatory. They laughed. The soft kind that doesn't need to be loud to be true. A breeze slid through the dome, gentle as a page turning. The satchel lifted its latch with a tiny click. Inside, the rejoined fragments glowed a river of lines threading through feather, droplet, and flame. For an instant, Oteo saw more than lines. He saw moments the map had recorded. Little shards of focus shining like pins of light. Hands reaching, then clasping, a brave small step onto a trembling bridge. Then the images folded away, private again. "Did you see?" he began. "I did," Katie said, voice hushed. "It's keeping memories." "Good," Tori said. "We'll need them." They closed the satchel and sat a while longer beneath the elder light, listening to Oteoland slow its heartbeat. Across the ridge, a wind started up. The kind that pokes, the kind that tattles. It found the raiders' junkyard, nipped at the banner, snuck under the tarp, and ruffled the pile of important metal. Something thin and bright slipped free with a tiny sigh. It was a page, real, glowing, edges torn where it had once belonged to the rest. It drifted up just enough to be seen if anyone had been looking for the right thing instead of the loud one. Then it settled again, hidden by a hubcap and a dream of being important. No one noticed, but the night did. Oteo stood to stretch. The plaza now held the tender quiet of a place that trusts itself. Katie gathered the last paper crowns. Tori stacked the chairs in perfectly symmetrical pairs. Fetchy wriggled into Oteo's scarf like a burrito. They walked the path home. Lantern moths bobbed beside them. The satchel's strap creaked softly, a friendly sound. Oteo felt taller than when the day began, not because of any victory, but because he knew which way his feet wanted to go. At the threshold, he paused and looked back. The dome's ribs reflected the stars. For a second, he almost saw the yard from his dream. The Earth kids playing VO, their bodies leaning toward answers that lived in the grass. The feeling returned a fizzing right behind the heart. He squeezed the satchel's side. It warmed his palm. "Tomorrow," he whispered, mostly to himself, "we work. We listen. We keep silly things sealed and good things moving." Katie opened the door. "Tomorrow," she agreed. Tori yawned, a yawn that made 3 other yawns happen. "Tomorrow," he echoed, already halfway to the pantry. Fetchy said MRP, which meant tomorrow and snacks are the same. They went inside. As Oteo set the satchel on the work table, the surface caught the lamplight and held it like dusk in a well-worn page. The crystal brightness of the first day was gone. In its place, a rich, softened grain had emerged, early leather, threaded with faint, ember-thin lines that looked like scars and felt like stories. When he brushed the flap, It breathed a quiet warmth, a remembered wind, the clean hint of rain after flame. Oteo smiled. "You're learning with me," he said. The satchel pulsed once steady, certain. Outside, the night gathered itself and drew one thin shadow across the horizon, no louder than a thought. Two lands, on a glow, and somewhere in the clutter and the quiet, a page waited to be found.